Hello, my wonderful Taurus. I hope you all are doing amazing. Today I'm going to be tapping into the energies of those of you that are currently not in communication with your person. So as per usual, I will be starting off with an oracle and we can just clarify those existing energies with tarot. Alrighty, let's see. For my Taurus in separation, please. The Rainbow Prince, so compensation, perseverance, 26. Okay, so what you're working on right now, Taurus, is rising above. Okay, so whether this is a conflict, whether this is a misunderstanding, something you don't agree with, right, guys? You're trying to rise above. You feel like that's the right thing to do, but you also feel like that's what would essentially lead to happiness. So what am I getting at here? Maybe you feel like you've been holding on to something that was either not serving you for your highest good, or you feel like there was no sort of positive outcome from you just holding on to it. So an energy of releasing control, surrendering, rising above a situation. Now, some of you, for some time, you were waiting on this person to either give you some sort of an apology, right? Or somehow give you back the time that you feel you have wasted, the effort that you feel was not being reciprocated. Because you felt like it was unfinished business. You felt like, hey, there's something that you need to say, there's something you need to do, we need to talk about this, we need to address this. But now you seem to be in an energy of either trying to let go of that, or you have let go of it, right? Because of the lack of, practical effort, the lack of, communication here, since we are in a separation spread. A lot of you could have gained some sort of information that made you very happy, or it gave you some sort of clarity, so you felt that you were able to, or you feel currently that you're able to rest after a period of kind of, anticipating something to happen, or completely focusing on something, but feeling like you're not receiving some sort of answers. So I feel like the clarity here essentially is leading to some sort of happiness, or you just feeling like you're finally having days that feel a little bit brighter, or a little bit, lighter here, okay? Could be after a period of secrecy as well, because I do see the moon. So maybe you feel like a lot was revealed to you in terms of this person's emotions, in terms of their motives, pretty much what they wanted to do, how, their true intentions here. Maybe you weren't so sure about it, or maybe those were things that you were questioning, but now, again, there's some sort of clarity coming in for you, or you've already received this clarity that makes you feel like you're in a better space than you were prior. Okay, let's see here. And we do have the 26 reduces to 8 here, right? So it talks about practical effort. That's why I mentioned that, right? Chipping away at something daily so you can see a larger result. Maybe it feels like day by day nothing is changing, but something you're working on is going to be, bringing you a lot of clarity, whether it's working on not reaching out to this person, not thinking about the situation, but surrendering. Right? Something you're chipping away at on a daily basis is going to be, it's going to send you some sort of large results here. You're going to be able to witness that. Okay. The River Queen, flow, letting go, natural movement, exactly what I was picking up on. A lot of you are releasing control, or you're in the space of trying your best to do so. When your person views the situation, they view you as your back turned towards the situation, right? And it doesn't have to be true, guys, but maybe you're just doing a really good job of keeping your emotions intact. Maybe you were the one that always reaches out, and at this point in time in the separation, you still have yet to reach out, so they're starting to believe that, hey, this might be over for good, or Taurus is not going to be communicating with me. This is what's going on in their mind. Doesn't mean it's, true on your end, right? Now, I do feel like with flow and natural movement, it's touching back on going with the flow of things. If things happen, fine, they do. But emotionally, I can't hold on to this because it's exhausting. That's what you guys feel mutually. Your person could be thinking that the more and more they think about this, they either become frustrated because of the lack of movement, okay? Or they feel frustrated because they have a particular way that they want things to play out, and they feel like that's not possible. They feel like things will not go their way, okay? It could be that they feel like they're not in the most fortunate time, or it's just not realistic that things will play out as they do in their mind. So it's someone who's letting go, someone who is wanting to go with the flow of things. Do they still think about you? Do they still have emotions here? Absolutely, because the River Queen talks about an overflow of emotion. But it's someone who's trying to go with the flow of their emotions as well. If it wasn't that your person was trying to have control over this bond, it could be that there's someone who is very in control of their emotions, or they like to hide their emotions. Because I'm almost getting that Emperor energy where it's like, this person could have either degraded their emotions for you, or there's someone who's kind of uncomfortable when it comes to expressing their feelings. Okay? Maybe they're okay with liking you, but they're not okay with being in love with you. And this could just be a them problem, right? Maybe there's some sort of, something that's deeply rooted in them that makes them feel like, but you can't feel for anyone deeply, or you should not be vulnerable with anyone, right? Because it makes you weak. Doesn't make it true, but this could be kind of the mentality your person has. So I feel like, again, the letting go or going with the flow could also be pertaining to their emotions. Maybe they're like, but I no longer want to hide my emotions, and I'm ready to feel them and accept them. It's someone who knows that they feel very deeply for you. It's someone who knows that you impact them on an emotional level, and they're kind of tired of just suppressing it. Okay, so someone who wants to stop always feeling that they need to control their emotions. I need to wear a facade, or I always need to be, appear as strong, or I need to appear as someone who doesn't wear their emotions on their sleeve, that sort of thing. I feel like that's the very thing that your person's trying to let go of here. Okay? Alright, let's see. Divine guidance and higher knowing. So threes talk about, setting your plans into action. So it goes back to, the practical steps that maybe you feel like your person needs to take here. But divine guidance is kind of hand in hand, with natural movement. A lot of you are in this energy of, surrendering. I feel like these three cards are essentially the same message, but it just gets deeper when it comes with each card, because the emotions are now being acknowledged. With higher knowing, I feel like your person either believes that somehow, some way that you guys are supposed to be together, or they feel, like they may have a higher knowing that you guys were meant to cross paths here. Okay. This is also someone who feels like you guys are connected on every level. Like, even if you guys are not physically there or speaking to each other every day, they feel that when they think about you, you think about them as well. And I'm not saying that in like, I bet Taurus is thinking about me kind of thing, but it's someone who just they feel very connected to you on a deep level, right? So it's like when they think about you, they can almost like feel your energy. It's like a very potent bond. Right? A lot of things remind them of you. It's someone who feels like, their heart chakra is something that you helped activate. When we see all that green, it's someone who feels like they have not felt this way about anyone, or they don't feel as deeply for anyone else, right? And this could be the very reason why they were having a hard time in the past when it comes to actually accepting their emotions. Right? Because if this is an emotion that they've never felt before and it's kind of like foreign to them, they may be thinking, okay, well, how do I cope with this? I've never felt this way before. It's kind of scaring me. That sort of thing. Alrighty, so let's see here. By the way, guys, if any of my messages do resonate with you, I would love it if you would just give me a like or a comment. It genuinely helps with my channel exposure. So if you do, thank you in advance, guys. Alrighty, let's see. Wow, you guys are really in your element. Take a look at this, guys. It's your card. That's the first card, or, you guys ruled this card here. So not only are we in a period of overcoming, obstacles here and adapting to change, I feel like you guys are doing a good job at it. Even if it feels hard, even if it feels, empty every day, and it feels like it's something where, it's very difficult, I feel that you guys are in your element. Now, what this person feels is that you have clearly communicated what you want from this bond, whether it's, you told this person you wanted a commitment, or a higher level of commitment, or a marriage. They feel like you were able to be clear on your intentions here. Okay, so when we're touching on, letting go or accepting their emotions, maybe they feel like they were the one who was not accepting their emotions. They were the one who wasn't kind of going with the flow of things. They were the one who had more of the doubtful energy. Okay, so what can this result in you feeling like? Maybe you feel that you wanted this person to have more faith in this connection. Maybe you felt like they were in their own way, that sort of thing. When your person thinks about you, they just think about someone who offers them a lot of security and someone that they would love to have a commitment with. Someone who not only offers them stability, but also you're very structured in what it is that you want. So it's kind of like a domino effect. If you know what you want, it's almost like you're the most certain person in their life. So because they have such deep emotions for you, this could be the very reason that they do feel so deeply for you, because you're so certain about them, because you're the first person that has offered them some sort of stability or makes them feel certain of themselves, right? Going back to that domino effect thing here. Now, I feel like for many of you, you're in your element, number one. Number two, you know what it is that you desire. And this separation here, right, guys, for you, it could feel very bittersweet. Like maybe you feel like it was much needed in order for your person to realize emotions and that sort of thing. But the bitter part of it could be that you were anticipating a lot for the future. Maybe you feel like, why is it so difficult for you to be open about your emotions, especially because I know you feel very deeply for me, or I have this feeling that we can, get things off the ground, and we know we feel for each other. But why do you hide that from me? Why do you have a hard time letting go, keeping faith, and going with the flow of things? Why do you always need to be in control? That sort of thing. Okay? All right, let's see here. Give me a second, guys. I'm just going to have some water. Okay. Let's see. So flow, letting go, and natural movement. Page of Swords. Okay. Here's the issue at hand. Your person is trying to let go, right, of control. They're trying to go with the flow, feel the emotions as they come, explore the depths of their emotion. Page of Swords. It's someone who is still a tad bit on edge. It's someone who still has, because the Page of Swords is someone who's inquiring about you, but not necessarily through you. So it's not a contradicting energy, but it's someone who's trying their best to be open, but they're not fully there. And of course, changes, especially internal changes, they don't take place overnight. But I do see this person being very curious about what it is that you're up to during this period of separation. It's like, okay, let's see what Taurus is up to. If I were to come forward and say said thing, would this work? How would they respond? Excuse me, guys. But someone who essentially wants to know the outcome of a situation before they actually put forth the action. So is it someone who wants to be open with you, who wants to, accept their emotions for you? Absolutely. But that's what's going on emotionally. When it comes to what's going on right now or the steps that they're taking, they're very curious about you. So what can this result in? Either maybe checking up on your social media, mutual friends, whichever way that they can attain some sort of information about you or know what it is that you're up to, because there's a lack of communication, they are doing that right now. Okay, so for many of you, maybe this frustrates you because this could be the very reason why there is, a current separation, maybe the lack of openness. So your question could be, okay, well, did you learn from the fact that there was a lack of openness, or is this something that you're going to continue to do? Okay, Taurus, so this is what you're heavily thinking about. Are you going to change this? Why can't you, if you're curious about me, why don't you just ask me? Why don't you just reach out? Could be someone who does things like maybe try to get your attention, hint to you that they want to speak to you, but they don't make the first step to speak to you. Excuse me, it could be someone who constantly waits for you to reach out. Okay. Divine guidance, higher knowing. Hold on, guys. I just dropped a card. Okay, so we have the Six of Wands in reverse. Some of you may have a higher knowing that this will not be successful unless your person clearly communicates their passions, unless they clearly go after their passions. Okay, for many of you with that Six of Wands in reverse, it could be that you feel your person was not acknowledging the things that you were doing, or you did not feel celebrated in the past. Like, it doesn't have to be celebrated in a sense of like being in the public eye, but it feels, you feel like you're efforts, your passion, your patience, your love, your compassion. These are the things that were going unnoticed that essentially bothered you in one way or another. Now, I do see here, guys, for some of you, you feel like in order for this to be successful, you need to release control, or your person does, right? So you're going to know your situation better than I will, but many of you feel that the reason why things weren't successful is because there was this urge to continuously control things, or there was this urge to have things work out in a specific way, that you felt that if there was more of an energy of surrendering and just going with the flow of things, and if your person wasn't always trying to be in control of their emotions, this would be more successful. Okay? A lot of you, truth be told, you are having a hard time believing that this could be successful in the future, and that could be because there's a lack of effort, right? So that's just kind of a realistic way of looking at it. Like, why would I believe that this could be successful, or why would I believe that, there's going to be some sort of changes when I don't see practical effort from this person? It's almost just you being cautious of yourself and guarding your heart in a sense, because you don't want to plant, false hope in your mind that you feel like will let you down or cause some sort of disappointment in the future. But I do see for many of you that you want this person to not only be more practical, but if they're so passionate about you, you want them to be driven by passion. You feel like this is someone who may know what they want, but your question may be, why do you never act on it, right? Like, why is it something that's so difficult for you to stand by and be open about? You guys wish there was a lot more open energy, less secrecy, less holding back, that sort of thing. Like, a lot of you are craving some sort of much needed conversation is the best way for me to explain this here. Okay. The Hierophant, let's see. So what do we have here? The Six of Pentacles in reverse. Plain and simple, you will not be moving forward with this person, or you will not, put forth, the necessary steps here if you don't see it from your person's end. Six of Pentacles could be, equal give and take. It could be someone who's like not in a generous energy because they feel like they're not receiving anything from, the opposing party here. Maybe some of you feel like you have overgave in the situation in the past. You were the one who kind of held on to all the faith, and you tried everything in the books to make it work. So now you're in this energy of, I don't know if I want to be that generous, or I don't know if I want to sympathize with you at this time. Your person sees you as someone who's withdrawn from this connection. They see you as someone who has their back turned towards them, okay? Maybe this is something you think about every day, but like I touched on earlier, you're probably doing a good job at keeping your emotions intact. And this is also someone who feels like there's a lot of push and pull here, whether that's stubborn energy, whether that's, I'm not going to reach out because you're not going to reach out, that sort of thing. They do feel that way. They do feel like there's a lot of, that's what's essentially creating the gap between the both of you. But with that Six of Pentacles in reverse, they're just not sure if you want to invest in this situation. Okay? This could be the energy where in the past, when you were very clear about what you wanted, you feel because your person wasn't putting forth the action. So even if they told you, yes, I want a commitment, yes, I want marriage, or, the thing that you guys desired could vary, but you feel like maybe even if your person said that to you, they weren't doing anything about it. Excuse me, sorry guys, but you feel like your person wasn't doing anything about it. When you have the Pentacles in reverse, what does that talk about? A lack of taking action, even if it's small steps, even if it's, just doing something every day that shows you, hey, this is what we're working towards. You feel like you were getting a lack of effort to the point where you probably had to question, hey, did you mean the thing that you said 2 days ago? Did you mean that? Because you're not really acting accordingly. So once you had to question this person a lot, or once you started kind of getting that energy of cold feet, I feel like you took your energy back. I feel like that's what made you question, should I be investing my time here? Should I put forth the effort? And then you decided, I'm not going to put forth the effort if you're not, right? So even if your person is viewing you to be in a stubborn energy, maybe in your defense, you feel like, well, when you had the opportunity to prove to me that you wanted to move things forward, you did not. So now that you want to do it, maybe I don't want to do it, or maybe I'm not okay with it right now. Maybe I'm still upset and maybe I need some time to get over it, right? Because your emotions are just as valid as this person here. Okay. Page of Swords, let's see. Let's see. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. A lot of, when I see, when I'm reading your person's energy, what I see in the cards is someone who's having a hard time moving forward from this situation, but that's the same reason why they're having a hard time taking necessary steps towards changes. Like, they're so focused on what happened in the past, right? So they're obviously stuck on the situation, missing you, that sort of thing. We've established that. But because they're so stuck on the past, they're having a hard time deciding what is the right thing to do for the future. Okay? This could be frustrating for you guys because the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, well, even upright, it's a pretty slow moving energy, but it's a very premeditated energy. But in reverse, you may feel like the situation is going nowhere, or your person is doing nothing to change things. Okay? This could be because they find comfort in you doing things first, or you feel like they have gotten too comfortable because you were the one who took accountability or responsibility or just took the lead in the bond here, right? But when we have it in reverse, a lot of you are focused on the fact that this is stagnant, because your next card is Six of Wands in reverse, which essentially speaks about you feeling like the reason why things are not successful is because your person's not putting any practical effort forward. Because it's very repetitive messages here, but essentially, what I'm getting is you're like, okay, you know what, I'm not believing anything until you do something about it. You can tell me the right things. You can hint to me that, you're still in love with me. But if you're really in love with me, I'd like to see the effort. I just see you guys having more of a very black and white way of looking at this, or just like an extremely realistic approach. Like, if there's no practical energy, I'm not going to tell myself that, oh, well, maybe things will be better in the future, right? Because I don't want that thought to kind of, be in my mind and I hold on to it when I don't really know if it's the truth. Like, there's a fine line that you're drawing when it comes to being positive about a connection and having hope, versus just having unrealistic expectations. And what feels unrealistic to you right now is expecting this person to do something because you feel like they have not done something in a very long time. So whether it's you feel like it's going to take a miracle for your person to come forward, or it's going to be a miracle if they do come forward, right now, because there's no practical action, you're having an extremely hard time believing, hey, maybe this will work out in the past. Now, is your person aware that the energy is stagnant? Absolutely. This is someone who may even have a little bit of fear or intimidation attached here. Because when you look at the reversals, predominantly we have reversals except for Page of Swords, which is your person seeing what you're up to. And we have the Hierophant, which is your card, which is not in reverse. What does that mean? They feel like you have some sort of leverage, or they're intimidated by your potential response. Maybe your response, you're kind of wondering, well, why is there fear here? I feel like if they were to reach out to me, I would just, speak about how do we move things forward or that sort of thing. But there's fear here because they know that in the past they weren't authentic with you. It doesn't have to be someone who stepped out on the relationship or, dishonesty. It could just be someone who feels like they downplayed their emotions for you. And for many of you, I feel like when you were in a separation with this person, or prior to the separation, beginning, you may have tried to work on things like, okay, maybe we don't need to go into separation, let's talk about it. But this person could have been very impulsive, or very nonchalant is what I'm picking up on, kind of someone like, okay, well, Taurus, if you want to leave, then you can leave. And then now they're like, why did I say that? Or why did I respond in that way? It's someone who feels like they acted too soon. That's what I essentially see here. Okay, Six of Wands, let's see. Knight of Cups. They're sorry, guys. They're very apologetic is what I see in your closing cards. This is something that maybe you're expecting, but I just see in your person's energy that they are sorry. The Knight of Cups is someone who wants to apologize to you. The Knight of Cups, reading it hand in hand with the River Queen, their biggest regret is not being honest about their emotions. And they feel like this was very unfair, especially because they feel you were very clear with what you wanted, right? You were very clear with what you desired, your emotions, your intentions, that sort of thing. And the fact that they were either downplaying their emotions or just playing out not being open with them, they're in regret over that, okay? The Knight of Cups is someone who wants to apologize to you for not being able to kind of get things off the ground, or just for the lack of success here. And it's also, I feel like the main thing that they're regretting is pertaining to emotions, which is they have yet to tell you how much they feel for you, or there's someone who's very uncomfortable with opening up about their emotions. And this could have been that fear-based, this could be that fear-based energy that I'm picking up on. Okay, guys? All right. Let me see if I can get you guys a closing card here. Okay. Inner sense. Okay. Let's see. Can you guys see that card? So we have inner sense here, right? So essentially what I see is someone who is going within. Interestingly enough, I feel like this has a lot to do with emotion. This has a lot to do with kind of your third card there as well. Higher knowing. Okay. This person is going within to figure out what is the right thing to do. This is the advice behind the card. This is the most difficult thing for them to do. Okay. In the past, you know, the mishaps that occurred here is because they were not open about how they feel about you. They were not as open about their intentions or what they want for the future as you were. Okay, so let's flip around the card here. Clarity, senses, inner peace. A lot of you, because of this clarity, you're feeling happier. I picked up on this energy when I opened your read, right? You're getting some sort of clarity that makes you feel like you're in a happier place, a lighter space. Okay, and it's because of the clarity. Element, water, not surprised. We're talking about emotion. The lack of expression. The Knight of Cups is a closing card, so that's regret over not expressing emotion and someone who wants to apologize to you. Okay, now the focus here, inner sensing guides me to greater understanding. So the downloads that your person's receiving at this time, their emotions are what they're paying very close attention to. Okay, and I'll tell you why. When you have this card, right, it's not only that your person is focusing on their emotions, it's almost like, okay, if I think, this is how they're justifying it. Like, if I think about Taurus every day, right, and I feel very deeply about them, like, it's you know, it's a given that I care about Taurus and I'm in love with them. Why do I keep trying to fight it, right? You know, me being powerful or me being, you know, me not being in a vulnerable state, does that outweigh me expressing my emotions to Taurus? These are the questions that are going through your person's mind, right? I also feel like for many of you, your person is in this energy of, like, if they hear the term commitment or if they hear the term, you know, wedding or love, they always think about you. You're like the first person that comes to mind. So this inner sense, this inner knowing is they feel like they belong with you. And I know, guys, for some of you, you may feel like that sounds cliche, but that's essentially how this person feels. The other thing I will say is you guys could have mutual friends, or I'm getting this image of, like, maybe you guys know a couple where you guys went like on a double date with them, or this couple was in a commitment from when you guys were in a commitment together, but you guys have separated and this couple has not. So if this person is around that couple, they're constantly reminded of you. If it's not a couple, it's like, give me a second here, guys. Let me try to grasp this download here. Okay. If your person's around their friend group, right? Or they're around family, let's just say they're speaking to someone, right? And you know, romance is brought up, or hey, what do you want to do for the future? Hey, did you hear from Taurus? Or like, even if it's not, did you hear from Taurus? Anything pertaining to love, relationships, commitment, bond, just feelings, they get reminded of you. And that's the reason why they know that they feel for you the most, or they know that they actually feel for you so deeply they need to do something about it. Because it's one thing to feel like, okay, I liked this person and I want a future with them, but there's another thing when every single day you're thinking about it, or every single time someone even mentions anything along the lines of a commitment, that's the first person your mind goes to. You understand what I'm saying, Taurus? So again, there's this like, and this could be the very reason why they feel very connected to you. Okay, guys, so I hope I made that clear, but that is what I'm getting for you guys this week. I really do hope you were able to find a message that resonated with you guys, and thank you so much for your time.